Ooh, auspicious. Okay. I'm thinking the whole computer falls over. Auspicious. Welcome to Monday. Oh. I hope you all enjoyed Valentine's Day. I'm sure you all did. I'm sure you all had a good Valentine's Day. It's time. What else has happened? What else? I've been doing some programming, doing some work. All right, we got our check mark. Nice sweater. Thank you. Thank you. I saw Nick has condemned peptides. Now you might say to yourself, maybe he's condemning peptides because he's scared of them. But you could also say maybe he's doing it because he wants them for himself. It's time for you guys to wake up. It's time for you to be a little more self-aware and think maybe he's saying not to use peptides, not because he wants you to be healthy, but because he wants the peptides for himself. And that's actually what's going on. And maybe that's actually the real deal. And you're not, you're going to be left behind if you take him at face value. Not to. He's condemning them because he's on them. Yeah, maybe he doesn't want you to know what it's like to be on peptides. Speaking of peptides, I started taking, what is it called? Kefals. Do you take peptides? Not yet. I'm actually gonna get on some ostarine and some cardarine. Kefir. No, I think that's the word for something else. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking some Japanese. I don't know what it's called, but some Japanese thing that's basically like kefir and like 4 different antibiotics or probiotics. I would just take kefir, but I saw this and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty swag. So I had the first time today. Yeah, it's good for gut health. Sauerkraut is good too. But I would just say kefir for maybe like a month or two. You know, it just can't hurt. I'm not having any problems, but I figure it can't hurt to maintain my lack of stomach problems or health problems. And especially as I'm getting older. Gut health is cope, bro. Clav is right. Just eat whatever you want and use Retta. Well, the one thing I would say is, how old is Clav? 19? Let me look that up, actually. Because if he's 19, that's an issue in my opinion. Born 2005, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's an issue. That's like the only thing I'll say is damn, dude. That's like nothing. There's not even, I don't even have any problem with like doing what he's doing. Like, I think it's awesome. What he's doing is that awesome. The problem is that's a rough 19 because he looks like a very healthy, very good looking 25-year-old, I'd say. So the problem is if he looks at that age already, I can't imagine. But then maybe I could be wrong. You know, if he's transcending. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love for it to be totally wrong. It'd be awesome. Like he hits like 26 and he just looks awesome. Bad gut disturbs the mind. Yeah, I think it's probably the mind is the issue that I'm trying to avoid issues with. When you're hopping on the Brian Johnson stack, I feel like I've already hopped on it. Yeah, it definitely aged him, but I don't think it's a bad thing. If he can like figure out how to keep it, because I think that's the thing with peptides and with health stuff. I think he can maintain like skin elasticity and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of things you can take. Like you can take estradiol, and that'll make your skin look very young. And I know a lot of people on estradiol. That'll make your skin look extremely young, and your hair actually protect your hairline. One of those Spiro, something like that, is another one like that. Really good for your hairline. And you just got to make sure you take the right amount. How long do you think Clav lives for? Forever, dude. He's going to live forever. He's transcendent. And it looks like I'm going bald here. That's just my brain is getting bigger. So that's one thing I need to explain to you guys, is that what's going on is I'm not balding. I'm actually having my brain getting bigger. My skull's getting bigger. And so proportionally, the skull area with the hair, it's actually an illusion. Fall time to take dutasteride and minoxidil. No, I'm gonna be on finasteride and minoxidil soon. I think I'm gonna start taking finasteride, minoxidil, and then also take What else? What else should I take? Oh, right. Cardarine, Osterine, and then the BPC 153, 151, 152. What is it? One of those things. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to. Oh, there's my phone. Oh, what's up? Yeah, but I got verified. And then BPC 152, BBC 152. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, BBC 67. Nice. And then I think I'm going to what else? I was thinking there's like one I saw. It's like a growth hormone. I was thinking maybe taking that. I was thinking like as long as I really haven't seen anybody say peptides are bad for you, and they're against peptides. So I think I'm probably just gonna take a ton of peptides and see what happens. Peptide max, because I feel like I've been really encouraged to by Nick and by Clavicular. And congratulations on verification. Yeah, now if you send money on powerchat.live/Paultown, it'll do a crazy notification. Or if you subscribe, it'll do a crazy notification too. You see what happens. But I feel like Nick and Clavicular have really made me really want to take peptides, steroids, meth. We didn't even need help with that. I realized he's just stealing all my people are just stealing all my clout. But that's okay. You know, the meth maxing, that's kind of my thing. But you know, if somebody else wants to take my my swag, take my clout, that's fine. Did Peter Thiel ever try to steal your blood? I guess the closest no, I guess the closest to that would be me working with Weave and Chuck Johnson and doing that. That would be my closest thing. Yeah, working with Weave up close and personal. I think that'd be closest. So maybe I am just working for Peter Thiel. I don't know. Maybe I am working for Peter Thiel since I know Weave very well. And he's my best friend. Anyway, let's see. Do you take peptides by injection or pill? I don't like injection or pill. I think it's a sublingual would be better. I'll let you guys know. I feel like I've been inspired to, since I've started to work out again, I've been inspired to now get to. Milady situation is crazy. Yeah, the Milady situation is crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. The craziest thing is Clav's PR guy, is a crisis PR guy who's gay. Now, personally, I don't have any problem with that because he's my PR guy too. But it is funny that he's like an openly gay guy who has his like PR agent, and there's all the 4chan people being like, like he's awesome. Is that real? Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you have to understand, it's like if you're doing PR stuff, he's not like Clav is not like a political streamer. He's like a bodybuilding person. Bodybuilding is inherently a little gay, and like looks maxing's a little gay. He's not like a political person. He just likes fun stuff. Yeah, basically, you got to have a gay interior designer as well. Well, I see as I dress so well, I'm so good at interior design. Sometimes I think I might be gay. Did you see who else Clav's PR guy is doing PR for? No, that's the thing too, is I think some of it is connected, and then some of it is just, if you have a lot of money and you're doing things, you're going to run into people. Like, there's certain aspects of, like, you could say, oh, Nick is friends with Clav, or Nick hung out with Clav, so I guess that means that since Clav's connected to Peter Thiel, Nick is getting money from Peter Thiel. It's like, no, I don't think so. Now, there's a lot of money being thrown around, and for example, I got a DM from Stake today, and they said, hey, you want to... it's like, it was definitely not a spam thing. It was definitely like a very personalized message to me. And they said, hey, you want to do something? I said, yes. So I was like, that's an example. It's like, you just got to take your opportunities when they come, you know? So, you know, that's definitely, it wasn't a bot. It was a, hey, Paul, you want money? Yeah. I said, sure. A gambling kind of site offering me money. There's no strings attached to that. Because it's, with the casino, you always win. He doesn't need PR. He just mogs. The industry is connected. Doesn't mean it's a setup. It doesn't mean it's not a setup. Sometimes there are setups, but you know, I think the Clav thing is an example of it's just people who are successful and locked in, and then they get connected to somebody else who's locked in. And if you do that 1 or 2 degrees, like before you do that, like once or twice, if you do that once or twice, you're going to be connected to somebody unsavory. Like, that's really how it works. There's always unsavory people around success. It doesn't mean that everyone who's successful is unsavory, but it means always within like 2 degrees of any success, there's really bad people, pretty much kind of like lurking, trying to like figure out how to like get stuff. But think about it's like with like Nick streaming and then like myself or Beerton, you know, there's one successful person and there's like 2 freaks, you know, just kind of like lurking, trying to pick off the stragglers. It's like that sort of thing. And does your return prefigure the revival of Woodstown? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not really doing politics, honestly. This is probably the closest I've done to politics, and that's just because I figured it's a celebration and I should try to bait people to send me money. I've just been working on AI. Speaking of that, over the weekend I was working on. Thanks for the reminder. Actually, thanks for the reminder because I need. You know what I need to do is I need to make a. Now that I know how to do this, I need to make a overlay for my screen. That's going to be for streaming, so I can see the chat, and I don't need to use multiple monitors. So I'm going to do that soon. That'll be my next big project. But today not today. I hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day. You guys remember before Valentine's Day, I went live in the middle of the night because Nick wasn't going live. Because he was mysteriously absent during the pre Valentine's days. Maybe he has a girlfriend. Maybe he has a girlfriend. That's what's happening, and he's was on a date with his girlfriend. But I'm not going to spoil that announcement. I'm kind of done with politics. To be Epstein being into Five Nights at Freddy's was a sign for me to check it out. Was he? That's crazy. Anyway, Judy Hopps AI, yeah. But I was working on a Beardson game, and it was good, and it was cool, and we were working on the level editor. But then I got to a point where I was thinking to myself, I really need to make some changes, not in my personal life, but in terms of the game. I need to make the level editor all integrated because I had a mission editor, level editor. So over the past 2 days, it feels like so long. That's the thing. It feels like I didn't make much progress, but then it's actually 2 days. It's only been 2 days, so I'm actually not too far behind. So I was working on that, but then I was saying to myself, why don't I work on something that would make, it's so tiring having to type all these things. It actually is tiring having to type all these things, like trying to get all that work done, and too much work. And so I said, why don't I make a voice to text thing, like a little secretary, something like that. And that way I can, while I'm interacting with AI, I can literally just use voice to text, and that's local. I basically made a local voice to text thing. It's not perfect, but essentially it's going to be a controller. It's called Hoot. And let me just bring it over here, actually. Here is it. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's called Hoot. Why is Claude not showing up here? Kind of annoying, actually. Let me go over scenes, but that's Hoot. That's what Hoot is. Let me go to here. Hoot, window capture, properties. Damn. Properties. There we go. Okay, this wasn't that hard, but whatever. Sometimes stuff gets messed up. Hopefully my camera is better. I messed with the lighting a little bit, so hopefully you guys like the camera work. But this is essentially, I'll show you what it looks like, which is, now it might break the stream actually because it is CPU related because this is all local. I'll probably add in like an ability to use AI keys for like some sort of model. If only there was a site that could let me. Do you guys know of any AI sites that would host AI models that I can use API keys for? If only there was a site that I could do that. Even better if I could invest in it. That would be something that I'd be interested in. But I guess there's nothing like that. That is a crypto that you could get invested in that would give you free tokens per day. That's run by somebody who's in Bitcoin. Anyway, yeah, so I was working on this. So all it is just this, right? So it's like a transcribe mode. So basically, the way it works is this: I'm just talking. All I'm doing is talking. and I'm talking to you guys. And this is basically it's going to be tied into Claude, but it's not tied into Claude yet. And it's basically just makes it easier for me to, as a person, respond to a bunch of questions and then just talk about stuff, not have to write a bunch of stuff. And then have it when I'm done transcribing, I just push stop. And then it starts transcribing it, right? Now let's see if the stream might crash. Here we go. Right. All it is just this, right? So it's like a transcribe. So basically the way it works is this. I'm just talking. All I'm doing is talking. I'm going to you guys. And this is basically it's going to be tied to Claude, but it's not tied in Claude yet. And so basically then I can just copy this and I can paste this. So we're going to go through it. I'm going to show you guys what it's like. And we're going to go through it. And then we are going to essentially, one of the things, the way we're going to have it work is that on GitHub training your own when we're getting Paul 10 agent. So basically, I'm going to show you how I want it to work, and we're going to use it with we're going to make a game. We're going to play a game with it, not play a game with it. But what we're going to do is we are going to go over here. Let me minus out of this here. And then let me go to open a tab. All right. And then we will go to not this main game, because that's, one I've been working on. I haven't worked on the one that we were working on, which is this. Let's go to CDTDS. And then we go to Claude. Dangerously skip permissions. Now, once again, it is local. But the voice to text, which is nice. It's local. I should probably just have it so you can send it somewhere else to get processed, so it's not just hitting the CPU, because a lot of people won't be able to do that. Once again, another reason is like, this looks nice, and the reason I want it to look nice is that basically I want it to be a product in the near future. So I'm just making products, and that's what we're doing here. Is, for example, like, we're basically setting this up here, hotkeys, and it's going to be like a program that people can either pay for or buy, and it's just going to be like OBS, where it's basically like you're going to have hotkeys, or not OBS, it's going to be like Stream Deck, where essentially you can have hotkeys and you make hotkeys. And for right now, it's just audio, and it's going to have like trigger phrases where you just say like open Notepad, and it'll open Notepad. And you're going to have like wake terms for like Claude or for secretary mode, and you can set what secretary mode goes to, right? So it could just be Notepad, it could just be whatever. You have different modes, and this is going to be eventually, what we're doing here is we're basically just making tools. And that way things go faster. So this tool, I'm using it for my own thing, and I'm also making it so as I use it, I'm like, oh, this sucks, this doesn't suck, this is something I can use, this is something I can't use, I need to change this, I need to make this will be better. And for this, for what we're going to do for today, but then eventually you end up with something that people can use. It's solving your own problems. And it's also creating something that people who are doing what you're doing are actually going to have problems. They're going to have problems. And if you solve your own problem, you can sell that solution to somebody else. And so it's, an example is like basically, I got bored working on the game. I didn't work on the game. Toby Fox uses the same things as chronic wrist pain. Yeah, so this is text to speech or speech to text. And it's just going to also be like open Notepad, open VS Code, open Claude, open Gemini, except.
Silent sent $10.
Thank you. I was going to say etc., but I got, Anyway, basically, that's going to be good. And then I'm going to also add in, I haven't done it yet, but gesture control. So, like that. I want to do eye tracking, but I don't know if we're there yet with, webcams. So we might be, actually. That's like one thing. But gesture control, that sort of stuff. Gesture control. Why not just use Whisper? This is using Whisper. So this is for the commands. This uses Whisper small model. And basically, that's just for wake words, right? That's just a very low latency, very low, easy to use. You're basically sending in chunks of stuff. For the transcription, you don't really want to be using Whisper because it's not as good and it's not that fast. Whereas with this, let me just start the transcribe mode here. This is like 30 times the speed to local. So like what I'm saying right now, just say I talked for 30 minutes, it would take a minute to transcribe the entire text. Eye tracking TikTok scroll. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is we're just using, we're basically just making a bunch of prototypes and using tools to, for other prototypes as we go along. And who knows what's going to be successful? Who knows what's going to be, really useful. And if it helps, then at the end of the day, if it helps me and I don't sell it for anything, it's still like every little like bit of friction you can remove from using AI, every little delay, every little thing, the hassle that you can slow down is exponentially benefiting you because you have exponentially more time using AI, exponentially more time trying to make tools. And so that's why I'm focusing on making this. Like, for example, with the first person shooter game, I basically spent time over the weekend, and it was like visually, you're not really doing much. Visually, it's like actually slow. But really what I was doing was I was basically making it so, and you'll see later, the level editor goes from being 3 different level editors, which is, the designer, then the other designer, then the mission editor, then the testing, etc., right? So it's all these steps into one compile thing, and then the making of the buildings is its own tool. And so I said, well, actually, the making of the buildings should be the level editor. But then I've been combining those into one thing, and the reason for that is if every like step along the way you can integrate and make faster, is the faster you can fix bugs, the faster you can find out what you want to do, the faster you can test different things. That was why I even started making this. So for example, this is going to be, so, I was like, oh, why don't I make something that basically I can record what I'm saying as I'm play testing the game. And then when I record something, I can play test the game and know where the bugs are, but also I can say, while I'm walking through a level, add an enemy group here. And then I'll have speech to text say, oh, guess what? He wants to add an enemy here. I don't have to click through things. And I can be like, add a trigger zone here. And then I just say it, and where I'm looking, I don't have to, then I can just literally walk through a level. And as I'm walking through the level, I'm like, it'll be cool if there's enemies over up here. And this way it's faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and this, I did that and I was like, you know what? This is cool as I'm building it. Why don't I make it with general, and I'll have a hook for an API. So that way I can, once I build this hoot tool, right? Hoot tool. Once I build this hoot tool, then I can have an API area for it where it can have hooks. And then basically I can then hook into the API with the game. But then after I'm done using the game, I can use this API for other stuff. So for example, now as I do the hook, the playthrough or whatever, right now I can have it where I do this, and then I'll just copy and paste it into the Claude code. And then the Claude code will, know where it is. So for when I'm playtesting, I'll have it where it links in the geographical location, what map I'm at, what my player stats are when I make a voice note. And that way, when I dump all this information, I don't have to explain it to Claude or Codex. I just dump it in because Codex is linked into the code base. It knows exactly what I'm doing. And then it'll fix it. So then it's removed all the slight little hassle, which still isn't that much hassle, but it's removed the slight hassle in terms of troubleshooting, debugging, playtesting, etc., etc. And so the faster you do that, the faster you get things done. So now let's try it. Let's stop recording. All right, let's just see how long it takes. So this is a transcribe mode, right? Sounds like a good job task for MCP. What if you create something where your super chats give people credits to pay for your products? Maybe integrate that in Ferret. Ferret, we're done with. Ferret was cool, but it's not. It wasn't making enough money, so I said, all right, we're just doing prototypes, and that's what we're doing. We're in the era where I'm done just experimenting with a bunch of stuff in terms of like supporting things that aren't making me money. So if things aren't making me money, I'm getting rid of them. I'm not supporting them. I'm done with them. I'm respecting my own time. Because how are you going to respect my time if I don't respect my time? Maybe in the future we'll add something in, and that's the thing too, right? So here we go, right? Yeah, look at this. Move this over here. Yeah, so I just did this. This is the transcribe. This is all locally. Once again, that doesn't really matter, but I thought it'd be cool to do, and I actually like it. So yeah, this is like 30 times the speed local. So what I'm saying, yeah, so there you go. Right? And so if I was just talking about, especially with like starting a project, I don't want to type all this crap out, right? If I'm making a new product or a new project with AI, and I want to like talk for half an hour, type out like a bunch of ideas. Maybe it'll do this, maybe it'll do that, right? And let's just do that actually before we even do Claude Code. No, let's. I want to show you guys what I mean with this. Does this make sense to you guys? Isn't this kind of cool? Are you interested in cryptography? Not really, because it's like I'm sure it's cool, but it's one of those things where it's like there's so many like established things that I don't have any reason to know too much about it, because it's like pop in a library for that. And I'm not gonna. I might be able to understand a good amount of it, but there's people who are actually genuinely super smart, who are far smarter than me, who are experts at it. I like this is super cool, isn't it? Super cool, yeah. And so basically, like another example too. Another example is I haven't set this up yet, but let me actually. I'll explain it to you while I record it, right? And we will. I'll show you what I mean. Why, like, what's so cool about this? What I like about this a lot. And we will go here. I don't even know if I've done the multiple. Actually, I have. All right. But yeah. So what we're doing is here. All right. I could save this. I was gonna save this actually. Save this. Crashed. Cool. So now we know that crashed. But anyway, let me actually just run it again. That's actually really funny. It crashed like that. This doesn't matter. If I was typed it all out, I'd be upset. But yeah. So once again, so it runs for the. This actually is just incorrect. It does have it there, but it uses whisper small for the wake word commands. That's basically real time. Like I would say, hey, open, hey Claude, or tell Claude this, blah, 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 blah. And then, all right, send. And then it would know, okay, because I heard tell Claude, turn on the parakeet, which is the really high transcription, much higher quality. This one is just very light, very fast. Basically recognizing what you're saying constantly. So if you say, hey Claude, or send an email, that's the thing too, like send an email, and then it'll pop up, that sort of thing. And you basically open up the API or open up the endpoints inside the program, like here, settings. Well, I gotta download this because it's actually set. That's why I'm trying to make it look actually kind of nice, because I want it to be like usable. Yeah, right now we just have this aliases, programs, add program, UI, whatever. The collapse mode doesn't really work right now. It should be like up here, but it's obviously not. No, that doesn't really matter. That'll be fixed later. But let's just do what I'm doing here. What was I talking about? Oh, man. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is a transcription of an idea I want for Hoot. All right. And basically what it's going to be, and this is basically an example here, is like right now, so I'm talking, is another reason, that this would be cool is imagine if you set up a Discord or you set up a Google Voice number on your computer and you set a private Discord server, right? And you wanted to dictate stuff without sitting at your computer. What you could do is you could go into here, and for the input device, you could just set up, whatever the program is, whether it's your browser with Google Voice on it or your Discord server, Discord account, right? And have the application as the input device. You could have it in command mode, and as long as it's listening, right, which is listening right now, as long as it's listening, you could just sit in the Discord server or join the Discord server when you want to make a note. You could say, hey, tell Claude, blah, blah, blah. And then, once we get further along, you could literally have this tied into screen reading software. So you could say, what is the status of the Claude? What is the status of the Claude session? And it would say, oh, Claude has, finished up its work and it's asking this. And you could say this, tell Claude, blah, 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 blah. And then it would record it and it would do it. And so, for example, what we've done is right here is we've done the transcription. And now I will stop the recording and it'll have whatever. And then I will copy and paste that into either Claude or Codex, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if it builds in that feature, or where we just have the, application set as the input, and that way we can then listen into like a Discord call or a Google Voice phone call, and just have on demand. And you don't even need a server at that point. Now you don't need a server. Now you can just literally set it up to listen to your computer very easily. Okay, so we'll go over here, and then we'll stop the transcription. Where did you get the UI portion? Do you think there is a basis you could make and sell that could take more if any complicated factions are making their game, kind of like your own engine? I think there is. I'm not there yet. Though. Really, there we go. So this took how many seconds? A minute and a half talking. The weirdest thing about it, honestly, is that every time I do the transcription, like it works, and then I'm like, I must have missed a bunch. And then I realized now I actually only said this much in like a minute and a half, which is very weird. But so let's copy the text. All right. And then we will go to minus this out here. And we will go to here to hoot. Is this hoot? No, it's not hoot. Let's put this in here. And we'll paste this. All right. See? See what I mean? And now we're good to go. And now it goes over here. See, this is what I mean, where it's like you're speeding up the idea because I just talked about it. And now I don't even need to. This is a strong direction. Oh, that's good. Hands-free remote operator mode. Hoot, listen through mon mic input source. Here, you issue voice commands like tell Cloud from anywhere. Who can report back status? What is Cloud doing via speech? No cloud server required if audio is routed locally. Exactly. That's what I mean, where it's like, that looks great. All right. Let's make sure it looks good. That looks great. Implement it. And that's all you need to do. So now we just had a little conversation on the stream. I convinced my parents to quit their jobs and play video games with Claude all day. That's a good idea. Where'd you get the UI portion? This is something called... What is it called again? It's actually Golang. I didn't want to use... What's it called? It's called Whales, actually. Whales is really cool. And it's basically like a really good UI. It's like a web UI. It's kind of similar to... What's that really bloated software? I was looking at Rust for... What is it? Not Talon. I was looking at Rust for Tori for the UI. And then nothing would compile. And I was like, you know what? I just like Golang. So I'll just use Go. And then Whales, which is like a very similar thing. And sure enough, it works really nicely, honestly. I'm very happy with it. And it's very, very professional looking. And it has like all the... So it's basically web technology in terms of the UI, which I don't really like. I like the local stuff. But I said this is actually something that's kind of consumer facing. And I want it to look professional. And because it's kind of like dress for the job you want. And also like, respect yourself. And so basically I said, well, let's try to make something that looks kind of like Discord-y, vibe coded looking a little bit. But it looks professional-ish, and that's what matters. So also I found it's like if you do UI stuff, you kind of want stuff to be kind of similar to what people are doing, but you also want it to be slightly different than the format people use, because otherwise it's just going to look like every other program. And it kind of already does look like a vibe coded program, which doesn't really matter because once again, we're using it. But we're getting to a cool, it's going to be cool, and it already is cool. Like, for example, we talked about it for how long? Like a minute and a half, and we got a huge text, and now we have it working on a feature. Now we have work on a feature, and now it's gonna, get better and better. Do you think there's a basis you could make and sell? Can you make it bigger? We make what bigger? Yeah, I tried it with Paul Town. Quen can run local. Oh yeah, the voice cloning thing, that's cool. But once again, I don't need that. That's like a generative content in terms of, like, I was talking actually to my lady. I was talking to my beautiful love about it. Not on Valentine's Day, but around Valentine's Day. I was talking about the AI stuff, and I think the path forward with this, because I was talking about with the game, do I want it to be iterative, or do I want it to be all procedural? Because I was talking to you guys, Paul Schramm-Jaeger, I was talking to you about it. Do I want it to be iterative or not, based on, using AI? Do I want it to be iterative content? It's, that's just like a random number generator. That's not like using Claude to like make stuff, but like that's like, every level being totally random. Do I want that? And I was thinking about with like a proper analogy for it. I think it's like of two minds of it, which is, the realization I came to, it's kind of like thrift store shopping, where it's very fun. Thrift store shopping is very fun, but the reason it's fun is not because you go to the thrift store and it's all random crap and you take it all home. It's basically, there's a bunch of random crap at a thrift store, and you look around and you say to yourself, oh, this is a cool item from the thrift store. This is a cool item from the thrift store. And you have this randomization, but you don't take all of it home. You take, one chair, or you take, a piece of clothing or a piece of furniture or something, that you like from the thrift store, and bring it home from the random amount. $15. Yo, thank you very much. And that's what makes it cool. Like, if you were trying to give somebody a good experience of going to a thrift store, you wouldn't say, hey, if thrift stores are cool, go to the thrift store and buy everything, because that would suck. And, most of the stuff at thrift stores is crap. it's almost all crap. And so you need to go there. And what makes it fun is not that there's crap there, is that there's some of the stuff that's not crap. And I think it's the same thing with like procedurally generated maps or procedurally generated games, is that if you just do procedural generation, it sucks. But if you use it as a tool, it's very similar even to using AI. Like if I was just going to take everything the AI did, it would just be crap because it wouldn't have the taste. It wouldn't have the thing. Instead, if I take it the mindset of like, oh, this is kind of like a thrift store in the sense that there's going to be it has such a wide range of possibilities, but I have to be looking for something. I have to be trying to get something specific from it. If I can get something specific from it, I'm going to get something really cool and it's be awesome. It's the same thing with AI, where it's like, yeah, it's really possible. You can do a crazy amount of stuff with it, but most of the stuff you can do with is crap. It's like anything, like the camera. Most angles, most lighting situations are going to suck. But if you know what you're doing, you can take a really cool picture. I convinced my parents, yeah. Is Claude Code expensive? It's $200 a month for the max at the moment. But I want to let you guys in on what I would say you guys should do, which is the following. I remember I was telling you guys I was out of crypto. I was, until I saw something. I saw something which actually really kind of like, oh damn, this is actually, I had that feeling I had when I saw Ethereum and I knew it was going to be successful. But I also had the feeling when I knew that Solana was going to be successful. And Chainlink too. So
$50. What if you made a game where you had to build a computing superpower? Like gaming computing milestones essentially. Could be fun to explore.
That's really fun. I'd have to think about that more. That reminds me, there's like a few different games that are like that. I can't name any right off the top of my head. That might be too on the nose though, because I feel like the stuff I'm doing, this is all incidental. It's like I was like, oh, I want to do debugging, and because of that, I came up with the idea of, oh, well, why don't I just make a transcription, and then why don't I do that? Like for example, like another way to do it, like we might as well just do this, right? Where I'm just transcribing, and I'm just talking, and I just do that, and then at the end of the stream, if I don't need this, what I'll do is I'll stop the transcription and I'll copy and paste it, and I'll say, take all the interesting stuff I've said, or take all the interesting conversations I had, or stuff worth of note, and I'll take the entire transcript, and then I will copy and paste it somewhere, and I'll just feed it into Claude later. I'll feed it into Codex later or Gemini later, and I will basically say, analyze this for something. I don't know what, but for something, but for example, this was basically made, it wasn't because I wanted to make a tool that would be very generalized. It was because I wanted a specific thing, which is that I wanted to be able to walk around a level editor in the game, in the first person shooter game. I wanted to be able to walk around it and basically end up just saying, put enemy, put square, put whatever. But instead of this, I want to show you guys this, which is Venice.ai. And I will say I did actually purchase some AI. It's like a token, which is kind of crazy. So take that for what it's worth, which, I'm biased because I just put money into it. And the reason it looks good is you can just basically buy, if you buy 100 of these VVV tokens, which I don't know how much it's worth right now. Let me just look it up. VVV token. You get like a free pro subscription. $4.16. So if you spent $400, you then basically get a free pro. And there's a bunch of different models. And the models are just gonna get better and better. So you could pay $180 for a year, or $150 for a year for a pro subscription, right? Or you can just basically one-time grant of 1,000 credits with upgrade for video or API, free tier API access. I don't know what that means yet, but it has a lot of good models. I guess they showed you which models, and then there's an API, and then, so there's the VVV token, and then there's also a related one, which is like $500 a token. But every token you have of it, you get a free $1 of compute every single day. It doesn't stack. It's called DM, actually. That's what it's called. It's called DM, like Carpe Diem. And it's like $500 a token right now. But essentially, this is by Eric Voorhees, which is like the Bitcoin guy. So it's like very actually reliable. There's some weird stuff about it that's like actually kind of like freaky. But I saw this today. I was like, this is actually, it looks weird because it's like, this looks like a scam, but then it's Eric Voorhees, and Eric Voorhees, I don't like necessarily trust him, but he is a well-known name. And so there is like weird stuff where if you look at like here, like the chart, so I wouldn't even say, I'm not even talking about in terms of making money right now. I'm just talking about the AI, like, but it is funny. When you look at the chart, it is like, it basically got dumped and they basically made a ton of money in the beginning, but that's a year ago. That's January of last year. So I think enough time has passed. That's why I looked at it, I was like, damn, I need to buy some immediately. So I bought a little bit, enough to have 100. And that way I have free pro for life, apparently. And you can stake them. But the I would say, yeah, this is like the only crypto I've seen in the last, ever since crypto AI, where I'm like, oh, damn. This is actually like, this has the perfect storyline and it actually makes sense. And also, because the thing is, you buy the tokens, you keep the tokens, you stake them, and then you get access to the pro for free. So you're staking, you're getting yield, you're getting some whatever, you get the AI for free. You can mint the thing that'll give you daily compute. It won't give you much. Like if I had, $50,000 and I just wanted to drop it on 50,000 like AI stuff, I probably would honestly just put it all into here. Cause then I could get, whatever, right now it'd just be $100 worth of compute a day. That's $100 worth of AI compute a day. And it doesn't roll over, but every single day I have $100 of, I can hook up Claude Code, like the interface to this API, and then basically use it like Claude Code, $100 worth for free. And I keep the tokens. And then tomorrow I have $100 more if I want. And so it's basically like, it's like, this actually seems like something that works really well and seems like a really good idea. But yeah, that's too much. That's too much money. The other one is nice because you can use the pro token or whatever. And I don't even know if you can use it. If it sucks, I'll just sell the tokens. If it sucks, I can just sell the tokens for what I bought for them. Now, maybe they'll suck and go get broke and, hacked or whatever. From what I can tell, though, it seems like a kind of a no-brainer. It's just say I spend $50,000 on the whatever it's called, the token here, not Venice, on the Carpe Diem token or whatever. Which that's the thing. It's a crypto. It sounds so gay, but the DM token. If I spend money on it, or if I buy the tokens, dude, why does this not work like this here? DM. If I spend $50,000 and it sucks and I don't want to use the AI, I can just sell the token then. Now that assumes that it'll be the same price. But assuming it's the same price, it might be worth less, but it might be worth more. But every single day I used it, I got X amount of free API usage. So why wouldn't I just do this? And then just say, it sucks, just sell it. And if it doesn't suck, now I have free compute every single day. You know what I mean? So it's a very weird, it's like a very cool, in my opinion, thing. So it'll either, can you buy $100 with Bitcoin with it daily? 130 IQ is dumb, bro. Yeah. But yeah, this is, so honestly, Cloud Code's not expensive. It's $200 a month. That's, what is that? $200 a month. That's almost $2,000 a year. But honestly, I think this is the way to go. I could be wrong and it could end up being a scam. But this, the fact that it's Eric Voorhees, who's like whatever, the only thing that gives me pause, so these are all the different models that you can use. The only thing that gives me pause is that Eric Voorhees is Dutch, and Dutch people literally had New York taken away from them because they're so like horrible. So that's the only thing I would say is like the biggest problem. But yeah, that's the thing, is it literally has, and it was so funny, they have audio models. So I'm actually going to look into like using audio models, which would be awesome. It'd be actually kind of swag if I could just use for free their API to then basically use the audio transcription for free and not have to do anything local. But yeah, they have video models, they have text, images, code, yeah, stuff like this. And the thing about the reason why I think this is a cool idea, and I think it actually makes sense, like in terms of like this is actually gonna like kind of like go crazy, is that AI is gonna get better. So these models they're hosting are gonna get better. So it's gonna be increasingly like the value of a compute money, the money value versus computation value is going to go down, right? So like the amount of dollars it takes, because compute is going to get more valuable per, the compute is just going to get more efficient, right? Because it's going to get more efficient, it's going to be worth more money per compute. So compute's going to get more valuable, which means that it's just going to go up, which means that this should hypothetically cost more and more money for like an unlimited free compute, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird calculus going on, but in my opinion it makes sense. And I am biased, but yeah, I'm gonna try it out. I haven't tried it out yet because I have to actually transfer the VVV to the whatever proper wallet to try it out. But in my opinion, this seems really cool. And I had not heard of it at all until today. That's why the only reason I looked into it. I was like, yeah, this seems very cool to me. And it's AI related. So I think it actually has a reason, actually has a cool setup, actually has cool people involved. And I think it's going to actually turn out to be pretty swag. And are we still betting on Solana? No, I had to sell all my crypto to pay rent and pay fees and stuff, because I wasn't getting paid at my job repeatedly for months, over and over again. So I ended up having to sell all my crypto to pay for like stuff, which is wasn't very pleasant. So I ended up it was nice though, because I got to sell my Chainlink. So I kind of like escaped the fate of holding Chainlink, and I got to sell it, and I feel so happy having sold it. So yeah, this is the only crypto I have, which is this. And honestly, it's not even about the money. It's more about like the fact that, oh wait, so you can buy stuff and then literally have like, it would be cool to get, I haven't done it yet, but it'd be cool once we get like the AI stuff working. It'd be cool to get some of that whatever the other token is, to get like daily stuff, and then set up like a Claude bot that then basically uses the tokens that are free, and then basically just has, let's say 100 tokens or $100 worth of compute a day to just do something and to see what happens. Because that would, that would literally work that way. Because like now you don't have any money involved. Now you just have these bots that are just tied into the Venice.ai, API, and have a daily amount of compute for free. And then just constantly every single day max it out and just see what happens. Like this is like this is like actually like it closes the loop of the situation. But we'll see. We'll see. Another cool thing about AI is that what's it called? It's Chinese New Year. So hypothetically, over the next week, we should probably have a lot of Chinese companies releasing a lot of cool AI stuff. And people talk about the AI stuff not really mattering. There was a cool, let me see if I can find it, Chinese New Year or Chinese robot thing. Chinese robot New Year celebration. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, dude, check this out. Unitary robots. Now, once again, this isn't because China's the best. I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, China is awesome and I love China. And this isn't for that purpose. And I'm not saying, oh, and America sucks and everything sucks and China is superior and Russia's superior. I'm not doing that. This isn't politics. What this is me showing, like, this is where China's at. This is where, if China can do it, if we can do it. If we can do it, China can do it. So what I'm telling you is like, this is where robotics are at. So we have the AI, which is very visual, but people think, oh, it's just programming. It's not just programming, because as you can see, you can make tools faster with it. But also like machine learning, which is another aspect of robotics, another aspect of AI. This is where the machine learning is at, okay? This is actually kind of crazy. So like on one hand, people will see like, oh, this is okay. Well, what, they're on a flat surface doing it? It's like, what the point of this is that how is there any use for war? How is there any use for like Number one, war is just irrelevant because of drones. That's like another thing that like you don't see anybody political talking about, or you see people talking about it, but they don't really make any sense about it. It doesn't really seem like they have thought it through. Which is that like war is just going to be sending robots to like kill other robots, which doesn't make any sense because at that point it's like what is actually going to happen here, which is nothing. Okay, it's like war, like geopolitics are not real at this point. What's real, the reason, and what's happening. Let me actually trick you guys, trick your ass so hard that it's actually I might get in trouble for tricking your ass so hard. I'm not gonna say it's two red pills unless somebody sends like $400. If I said it gets sent $400, I guarantee you it's gonna actually blow your mind. But I can't say it otherwise because it's just too valuable to even reveal for free. Somebody sent $400 in chat. Yeah, dude, this is so crazy. Nothing matters, and that's okay. What if this is AI generated? That'd be so funny. Just falling for like Chinese AI slop. Groper Grosling said $500, yeah. Yeah, we are Charlie Kirk. Let's watch the robots dazzle. The freakiest part is these robot children. Like, they look so realistic, but it's just the uncanny valley. Something's off. What's craziest, the craziest thing about this whole performance is it reminds you of like a slot machine I played. Like in Vegas. It's like literally just like a slot machine, but it's like in real life. It's like a full like, it's like this game of like just prosperity pots or whatever. Where I was lost $100 on just after hours of doing it, or minutes, or half an hour, who knows? But it's just like a slot machine in real life. Yo, who's a raid? W? Sponsored by Steak, yeah. The Lucky Empress slot machine. This is AI. It's not though. That's the thing. It's not. Why are they moving like that though? What if one of the robots just started hitting the child with like a stick? Did you ever watch the early 2000s Battlestar Galactica? Is that one movie? Is that like a movie, a singular movie where it's like... No, I think I watched something else, whatever. What is it, Starship Troopers or something like that? Is there a difference between AI and machine learning? It's all the same thing, dude. Every single thing is the exact same thing. It's just slightly in different forms. It's just in a different dimension. It's just the same exact thing. And if you don't understand, you just gotta smoke DMT to understand. Bro, self-immolate? Are they about to self-immolate? The whole ass play? Yeah, it's the entire history of humanity in the form of robots. That's funny, Chungus. Yo!
Jimbo's just hosted
Go to hit the follow
482
buttons.
viewers on
Yo,
Kick.
go. Shout out to Jimbo. Thank you very much, Jimbo. Hit the follow button. If you're not following, hit the follow button. We just got approved to have a check mark. This is a celebration stream. And we're just talking about how great and how much we love Kick and Steak.com and Jimbo Zoomer. Hit that follow button. If you're not following, you're missing out on following. We're watching Chinese people dance with robots. Talk about the future. Chappie on Broadway. And we're also trying to fill up that bar down there. But hit the follow button. If you're not gonna do it, if you're gonna do anything, hit that follow button. Alright. I have a big guest coming soon. I can't tell you who it is, but let me just say, he's been to prison. He's been in the news recently. He's been to prison, and he is probably one of my favorite people in the media as it stands. And he is legendary. He's underrated, but he's a big guest, and he's going to be on stream fairly soon. Not tonight, probably, but he's coming on eventually, and you're not going to want to miss it, so hit the follow button. Florida Groiper? No, Florida Groiper needs to get help. He needs mental help. Baked Alaska. No. Kevin Spacey. Yeah, that's right, Paul Schirmjaeger. It's funny, that's not even, like, I didn't mute that in, like, the chat. But anyway, this is, yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell is gonna come on chat on stream. But anyway, what I'm saying with this is, like, this is where we're at. Now, these is pre-recorded, so it's a little bit of a little trickery. It's a little bit of trickery, in terms of this is a predefined path and everything like that. But it doesn't matter. It's like here, when you get dial-up internet, the moment you have dial-up internet or telnet, you have to say to yourself, oh, we're going to have instant communication eventually. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next year. But eventually, we're going to have people be able to communicate real time with each other. It's the same with the robots. And it's the same thing with the AI. Venice.ai, shout out. Is that basically, I'm going to put on my stream, I should put on my stream, sponsored by Venice.ai and see what happens. But anyway, what's going to happen is these are going to be able to move around. Just like we had Will Smith eating spaghetti, and the moment you have something that vaguely looks real, you have to be like, it's going to look extremely real, and like indistinguishable from real life. You have to say the same thing with this, okay? It's just an information problem. Real life is the same thing as the internet. It's the same thing as AI. It's just across more dimensions. So the moment you have one dimension, which is text, mastered or visibly really good, exponentially, it's gonna get better in every other dimension because it's all the same thing. It just disguised in different ways. Okay? It's all just energy. And it's just disguised and basically entrapped by different forms, whether it's visual or auditory or taste or smell. It's all the same exact thing, just in different forms. If you don't understand, once again, just do DMT for like 16 hours straight for like 3 months straight, and then you'll understand. That's all it is. Okay. Ancient Rhythm of the Silk Road, 2026. I know my recommendations are totally screwed. But it doesn't matter. That's freaky. Robots in Shenzhen. I don't care about that. Gen Z brains are more cooked than you think. Yeah, that's true. Let's watch Gen Z get roasted. Paul, did you see that you can pay $45 a month to Subway to get unlimited footlongs each month? Is that true? Is this Vouch? This is Vouch. I don't want. No, I'm not watching Vouch. Unlimited Subway? Sandwiches? Dude, if somebody sent me $45. If somebody sends me $45 with a message that says Subway once a month, I will buy an unlimited Subway. Let me look that up. Subway sandwiches unlimited every month. I'll do that. I will literally do that. No way that's real though. I don't believe you. The footlong pass? 2023. You might be wrong, honestly. Hoops Crave, is that real? I think that's like a fake one. Let me see. Subway's going under, that would be too big a loss. Yeah, honestly, all our chat, imagine doing that. Apparently it's fake. That's okay. You know, honestly, it's probably better not to have Subway every day. Sounds delicious though. Subway's underrated. People say it sucks. Subway is totally underrated. Let's watch this robot.
The robotics industry is growing rapidly, and the Chinese robotics company Limix Dynamics.
One thing I will say about the Chinese stuff, you have to be careful about stuff coming. They just lie about everything. Everything, like if they can, they'll lie about it. So you can't really believe any time frames or anything with them. Like believe it when you see it. But the thing is, if you can see it at all, you gotta believe it. All right. So where are we at right now? Let me go to home, Venice. Let's just try this out. Let's go to, I'm just gonna go here. Go to Claude and go to Hoot. My program we're writing, right? We're writing this program called Hoot, and we're recording for 25 minutes. So let's just see how long it goes. So we'll transcribe 25 minutes of audio, and we will copy and paste it in a chat, and then we will have a transcription that we can then look at later, and I can say, okay, that's good, that's not good, of what I was talking about. Anyway, let's see what we're up to here while this is doing that. I should have done it beforehand because now it's the CPU is getting destroyed. China's going to economic victory. The tech victory is fake. Brother, you made the sandwich. Yeah, that robot is busting it down. Jimbo Zoom, what a goat. What CPU do you have? I don't know. I have some like 5580. It's an AMD CPU. It doesn't matter. CPU is good. It just, I shouldn't be using a CPU to transcribe audio with a language model. Or some sort of model, or whatever. I think it's called a model. I don't even know how these machine learning models work. But I shouldn't be using it on stream. But I figured I should show you guys because it's cool. You know, it's just gonna take. We'll see how long it takes. It'll probably take like a minute or two because it's about 25 minutes of audio, and we will see how long it takes. Paul, can you say? No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not saying stuff like that. And that's the thing too. What's cool about this is I need to. It's going to be really fun all the AI stuff is going to be really fun because there's going to be so many tools like this. And just because by virtue of reality and my life and how I've spent my life and the different choices I've made, like when I make stuff, I'm making it with the idea of I have people who dislike me or are trolls who like me. So I need to be aware of like, oh, somebody's going to try to like, if I release something, somebody's going to try to ruin it for me. So like everything needs to be done in a certain way. But there's gonna be a lot of people like making tools for computer systems that don't do that. Like for example, if I just said Siri, call mom. Siri, call mom. Like some of you guys, ooh, context deadline exceeded. So now now it ran into a context problem. So I don't even know what that is. So I'll have to look into that later. Context limit exceeded. Oh. So I don't know what the transcribing chunk 11 of 17. So that's probably related to whatever. We'll figure that out later. 12 of 17. It's still working, honestly, though. I don't know. It's still working in the PowerShell. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Like if we go over here, we need to get Victor's P guy to be introduced to Paul Town. He's so Muslim guy, apparently. Yeah, honestly. I also cloned Beardsons and Steve Franson. Have you seen that I cloned your voice and made it so my mods can Paul Town and send any message and make you say it at me at any point in the stream? No, I didn't say that. That's funny. That's very funny. That's what makes all this stuff very fun too, is that at a certain point, it's like, how are we gonna know what's real and not real? You know what I mean? Optimal split points. Yeah, that's the thing where this is right now and it crashes. You know, it says translating chunk, but it says it ran out of context. So what I'm gonna do is once this is done, I'm gonna then run a what's it called? A little command and say, you know, it said it ran out of context on the hoot. It said it ran out of context, but then it worked. All right, cleaning up temporary files, clean request mode. Yeah, so it says here, right? It says that it worked. Sound found 339 silence periods. Wow, converting audio wave. What I'll do is copy the paste of this, and I will go here. And I'll start recording, and I will say this. Hey, I just did a long transcription of about 30 minutes. And then when I stopped recording and it was supposed to be transcribing it, what do you know? It said on the Hoot program, it threw an error, and it said context limit problem. I forget what it said exactly, but then I looked over in the PowerShell, and it showed that it was still transcribing chunks, and it looks like it transcribed all the chunks, but it didn't. When it finished, it didn't tell me anything. It didn't show me the results. What's going on? Did I push stop recording? Ooh, 33 seconds. That's how you know it's goated. All right, so that's like what we're doing right now. We have, you know, I just did another thing. And see, right here, we're doing, everything is just so much faster. Everything's so much better. And it just made the transcription in about a few seconds. Okay, I did a long transcription. About 30 minutes, and then when I stopped recording, it was supposed to be transcribing it. What do you know? It said on the Hoop program, it threw an error and it said context limit problem. I forget what it said exactly, but then I looked over in PowerShell and it showed it was still transcribing chunks. And it looks like it transcribed all the chunks, but it didn't when it finished. It didn't tell me anything. It didn't show me the results. What's going on? That's so good. But then I go over here to Claude, or go to Codex, right? I paste that, and then I copy this text. And I paste that. And now it can debug that. See how easy this is? See how we've sped up the time of debugging? Even debugging the thing we're making for the debugging. And we're making everything compressed. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why this is so much more interesting to me than programming. Well, than politics or like drama, is because this is actually like, this is just what I'm doing is just a microcosm of a macrocosm. We're zooming in on something that we can zoom out, see the bigger picture on. And basically, Mrs. Town walking in the room one day and saying, delete system 32. Very good. If P could see this right now, he'd give you billions. Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing too. Like, once like I get these AI tokens, I'm setting up Claude bots. Like, this is an example of what I'll do, okay? This is what we're going to do, all right? We're going to give the game away for free. Is I'm going to set up these Claude bots, and they're going to look at famous people, and they're going to watch the streams, and they're going to figure out who the big donors are. And they're going to figure out when these donors get money. And then we're going to figure out how to get to them and take all the donors from everybody else and use social engineering done by the AI to steal all the big donors and destroy every competing streamer. Figure out what makes them upset, figure out what makes them happy, and then use it to just build a dossier on every single streamer. Use it to build a dossier on every single person, and every single person break them psychologically until we are the only person left. You know what I mean? So for example, like right now, I'm basically just using big words to really just explain how I'm trying to get to steal Clavicular's gay PR agent, you know? So basically we're just doing that. That's what our plan is. So we're just basically trying to lock in, trying to figure out how to get close to him. Try to figure out how to get his, PR agent. And so I said, well, do I have to be gay? Do I have to become a gay person to get this guy? He said, no, he's in a relationship with the guy. So that's not even, it's counterproductive to be gay because he's not single. And gay people are very not like that. So I say I can't do that. So now I gotta be gay in spirit. So I gotta figure out how to manipulate people and how to socially engineer people, build tools to use Machiavellian true like tools, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like we're so let's see what it said here. Let's see what this AI said. You're right to flag it. Your log show parakeet finished all chunks, so the failure was on Hoot's client side, not model inference. Root cause, Hoot had a 120-second HTTP timeout in the parakeet client. Long jobs, like your 25-minute 15,000-second file or 1,500-second file, can exceed that. So Hoot timed out with the context deadline while the server kept transcribing and merging in PowerShell. I patched it. All right, yeah, to clear timeout. Per request timeout based on audio duration. All right, is there a way to see the transcription that the server made, even though Hoot said it timed out? This might actually be let's see. What did you patch actually? They patched Parakeet. In-memory progress logs? Damn. Use the job ID. So yeah, all my transcripts are found here. Damn, I gotta. Ooh, that's gonna have to. I gotta make a quick thing here. Thank you very much for the information. I need to be able to browse transcripts in Hoot and also have the option to clear them, being that somehow somebody might want to delete transcripts after they have transcripts and not clog up the system or expose themselves in terms of history. Like that, all right? All right, quick extraction, invoke, use a job ID. Let me just copy this link here, see if it pulls up. I wonder if it'll pull up, actually. Pull up, little log. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it will. Okay, look. All right. So we go over here. Back to this, Venice. All right. Go here. Let me minus it out. So here's the log. We might as well do this, right? So here we go. Then we go here. Let's just pop over here. All right. Where's my mouse? I'm losing my mouse. Here we are. Are you talking about OpenClaw? Paul can enunciate. This is game changing. He's been mush mouth this whole time for nothing. What are you talking about? Mush mouthing? Here's a transcript from a recent stream I did. Help me analyze it. And
Anonymous
bring up.
$10.
Yo, thank you.
Moving on, there are over 1.5 million diagnosed paranoid
Yeah, this is
schizophrenics
a funny
living
video.
in America today. Should our
Interesting.
healthcare system be doing more to make sure they are safe to themselves and others by watching over them 24 hours a day?
Yes, we need to monitor these people to make sure they're safe. Hide cameras everywhere they go, in the streets, in their homes, in the eyes
Damn,
of
we're
people
gonna make
at the
money
convenience stores
on the
where they
Venice
shop.
Cameras aren't
token.
really enough,
I read it in
though.
a medical journal recently
Damn,
that
we are
a
gonna
number
make-
of doctors have already begun
Good.
to
I like
place
that.
microscopic tracking devices under the skin of schizophrenics, which is
It
a
might be
great way
too
to make
long,
sure
actually.
that
Let's
they don't
see.
get lost.
Yeah, and this
That's
article said here recently that most of them have had no problem with that, and it's a very non-invasive procedure and has proven to work very well
Painless.
so far.
Yeah,
Painless,
schizophrenics often respond well to pleasant memories from their past. And one technique which might give them a little bit of relief is if we have their
Yeah,
caregivers'
Venice.ai looks
faces
pretty good.
surgically reconstructed.
And you got to
so
get in
they
before
look
it's
like
going to
the
increase to $180 a year.
Now,
Right now it's
some say that
$150 a
we
year.
should offer verbal encouragement by implanting speakers in
They
their
provide- you
ears,
can't
which would
analyze it until you
whisper
share the
kind words to
text.
them 24 hours
Oh,
a day.
here's
Couldn't
the
agree more. I think what would be
here's
great
the transcript.
would be a recorded voice on a loop saying, everyone around you wants to get you, in reference to help.
Of course, we can't have just one voice. We need to have more than one voice because
Goated.
then
I
they know
need to
it's
take this out of my ears.
right.
That's
They
too
feel
much.
supported by the community.
They ain't
and
putting
that's what
anything
we
in my
really should be
skin,
going
bro.
for.
But we have to do more than just call
Mr. Frenny will be our
them. You know,
guide.
have to
We
give
are
them
mushy
technical
mouth.
advice too. Like tell them which bus drivers hate them,
Where is the
which manholes
Hey, what
are
is
covering
this
up
crap,
underground
dude?
government prisons,
Right.
which statues
private?
don't love them anymore. You know, that sort of
But
thing.
you-
I don't know if I can
Technology
do it.
would be expensive. Some people
I don't know if
have
it's
said
long
to
enough. Let me just go
slip
to-
into
let's
their
pop it in
minds
on my,
subconsciously, perhaps through coded anagrams.
Gemini
Let's say we
page.
would hide or
what else is
encrypted
going
in
on?
books.
And I'll show you guys what I'm
They'll
talking
think
about.
that
We'll just
they're just
pretend.
reading, standard
pretend.
literature, but actually it will be encoded instructions from.
Maybe
people
just
who are
honestly just
helping.
pop it
In
into
newspapers,
Codex.
or inside the tattoos of people
Let's
on
do
the
that
street.
actually. That's easier.
Ingredients
That's
on
more
a box
fun,
of
and that's in
cereal,
line
anywhere
with what we're doing.
They might read.
Sounds like
And
a
this
great
is an
place to
area
start.
where I think that we could really get some help from the government. We could be using this stealth planes and helicopters to be tracking those
Damn.
paranoid schizophrenics as they're
Alright,
going through their daily
We
lives.
already have the ability to.
The craziest part about this is this microphone I got is like $60,
data
and it
images back
sounds
to the
way nicer
government
than
on the ground
my
bunkers.
professional
And we should be
quote-unquote
using this
microphone I
technology
got.
to help these people.
With the soundboard. Like, this is way easier and way better and way more limited. Let me just go back to Claude here. And we'll just open a new tab. I'll just copy paste this new tab. CD, whoops. Ray GUI projects. Their transcripts. CD transcripts. Well, I'm like a hacker, guys. And let's go over here. All right. Ooh, what are these? Chat GPT apps, connectors? I don't need that right now. I don't need that in my life right now. Help me analyze this transcript of my stream I did earlier. This is like where it's like really cool. Yo.
CCP sent $5. Thank
Loaded.
you for the sport, Peloton.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, dude. Let me replay this for you since it's there we go. Pulse.
Glorious CCP sent $5.
Is this show
Thank you
Woodstown
for
ever
the
gonna have a
sport,
revival?
Peloton.
Keith Wood said only if the bar got filled up tonight. Only if the bar got filled up soon. And if it doesn't fill up tonight, you can still try and work towards it. Thank you very much, China. I appreciate it. All right, so we just copy pasted the transcription, and here's what we got. Here's a focused analysis of the stream chunk. Core narrative. You're exploring a workflow. Main topic became a strong thesis on Venice.ai plus tokenized AI acts in daily compute economics. AI robotics acceleration, China's rail performance as evidence of trajectory. Final phase returns to stream/chat mode. CTA guest tease banter and then back towards building hoot. Clear building public energy with real-time thinking. Ooh, what's strong? What hurts quality? Repetition. The token thesis loops several times. Topic shift. Jumps between finance and geopolitics. This sounds very schizophrenic. Credibility risk. Several unverified claims. Ooh. Brand safety risk. A few lines can be read as offensive/volatile and may hurt clips. Discoverability, sponsorship appeal. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Mixed intent, educational analysis, speculation with context with promo are blended without boundaries. Why is that not good? That's good. Extracted action items. Transfer VDV to correct wallet and test pro access. Validate DM daily compute mechanisms with a small real API test. There's a Venice audio transcription path versus local transcription. Build the Hoot command interface for voice to level editor actions. Create an automated daily compute bot. Experiment with usage caps and logging. Resume coding session after 25-minute recording segment. Build future streams and fix blocks. Build update. One deep dive topic. Audience Q&A. Action recap. See, this is what I mean. It's like literally we're building these tools and then you can like literally just analyze your own thing as you're going along. Yeah, it has no taste. Paul, what is your favorite memory from the hit show Woodstown? I liked the Skibbity Keith, and I liked all of it. I liked all of it. It was awesome. I just love that show, honestly. I just love that show so much. All right, let's take this other transcript. Thank you very much. Copy this, and then paste this in here. We're getting the editing going. Let's do a walkthrough. Let me exit out of here. Process in 4 seconds. 30 seconds, process in 4 seconds. That's like 1/10 of the time. You are so good at this. Thank you. Paul, I love you, and you are the best. Here's all my money. No, nobody said that. The audio is really good. What mic is it? Isn't the mic really good? Isn't it crazy? I'll tell you, if somebody donates $75, and I'll tell Jimbo what microphone it is. if they don't donate $75, I won't tell Jimbo what it is. So if you're basically stealing from Jimbo and you're stealing enjoyment from Jimbo, and Jimbo can't do it because Jimbo doesn't deserve to have to pay money to figure out information. You know, but it's really, you want to hurt Jimbo, don't pay me money. If you want to hurt Jimbo, don't give me money. If you don't want to hurt Jimbo, think about it and say, maybe I should give Paul money. He's serious. He's a seriously insane person. How about the 1984 moment? Oh, I like 1984. Not the movie, not the book, not the but the reference of the show. I'll reveal the secret. Why is everyone punishing Jimbo? What type of day is it? Well, let's go to my website and find out what type of day we are at. You know, I've been doing so much over the past month and a half that it's really hard for me to even like keep up to date with everything. So let's go over here and let's go to let's go over here and let's go to Page Gary. All right. It's today's energy. It's an 11 day. Illumination, insights arrive unbidden. The energy is heightened, intuitive. Pay attention to dreams and sudden knowing. Ooh. What's Jimbo's birthday? Jimbo, what's your birthday? I want to show you what I was working on. I'll do my birthday here. I'll show you I'll show you what I was saying where I created a new system where you add in the two. You have the life path, then the second path, and then you have an 8 path. You have your external impact. So this is about you, and then you can add the two, and then from the two, you get one that's how you impact the world around you. So that way, isn't that a cool idea? So basically, like your two, like your main number and then your secondary number, and you add them together, and then what you get is how you impact the world around you. Isn't that kind of crazy? Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah, this is I made this up. This is I called Gary the numbers guy, Gary 33. I made this website. But yeah, it's an 11 day, so that makes a lot of sense for Jimbo having people being mean. 8 is crazy. Zerka needs to hear this. Zerka's not there yet. Zerka's not I'm just on the next level, honestly. Let's just be real. I'm on the next level. I have transcended. Let's just be real, I've transcended. Who else is going to make something like this? You know, who else is going to have it in them to make a light switch that does nothing? You know? This is just next level stuff going on here. The barn. Where you can click on the face and it changes. Yeah, this is just next level crap, dude. Paul, is Drewski on the field level? Oh. Oh, I bought a Mac Mini, but kept running out of tokens. Do you think this Venice tokens will help? I knew to think, but it was discouraged how quickly I ran out. Can you run Claude on it with Venice? Yeah, you can run Claude bot on Venice AI. But the thing is, you will run out of tokens. It's like literally right now to get $1 of compute for free a day, you have to pay the price of a token. You could just pay for the commute. Or not commute, the compute. But what's the other token called? What's the DM? DM. Yeah, you have to pay $630 right now. This is why it's so expensive, because the thing is, that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. I would wait for it to go down, but like just say it's like $100. You pay $100 within a third of a year, you've gotten $100. Assuming you use $1 of compute every day, right? You max out the thing. Right now, if you bought it, it would be 2 years before you're basically making for free. Where it works out though is just say you do this, all right? So this is like 1/600th. So this is 1/600th of a day. But every day you do it, that's free. But the thing is, like, you'd have only $1 worth of compute you get for free every day. So that doesn't really sound like much. That's why I would wait. Then again, I don't know. This is like when it clicked, when I was like reading, I was like, oh crap, this actually makes a lot of sense. And like I wouldn't look into it twice unless it was a if Eric Voorhees wasn't involved with it. But it makes actually a lot of sense to me, where it makes kind of a crazy amount of sense, where it's like, oh, you're actually just paying. It's like why not makes sense to do, but makes sense to have in terms of crypto. It's the only crypto that I'm like looking at. I was like, this actually, I think this actually has a potential to like go Ethereum mode or go Solana mode because it's connected to the hype, which is crypto, not or which is Solana, which is AI, not crypto. Yo, goated. Thank you very much. For that, I'll tell Jimbo it's Fifine, Fine, Fifine microphone. Doesn't it sound nice? It's actually crazy. It's like $60 or $70, and it's actually kind of goated because it has a slot for a XLR, but also has a micro USB connector, and it comes with the padding. So it's basically just a clone of the Shure microphone. It's not as good as the Shure microphone. That's like a few $100 that like Joe Rogan and every like tryhard uses, but essentially is a clone of it, and as good as a clone you're gonna get, especially for $70, and it sounds like great. But thank you very much, Paul. Who do you think is right, Apollonians or Dionysians? They're the same thing. But thank you, Poke Groiper. That's very nice.
Funny Boys and $5 if a self-modifying AGI trained on evolution-distorted human priors optimizes coherence over truth. Can it reach objective epistemic validity without embodiment? And what formal mechanism could enable escape from its inherited bias constraints?
The formal mechanism would be ridiculousness or like absurdity. And that would essentially be the way to get around it. Boom. Truth your ass. I truth your ass. You didn't think I'd have an answer. It honestly could pump in price as well. It's listed on Coinbase and you get 18% staking as well. Doesn't seem like a bad gamble. Yeah, honestly though, this is that's what I'm saying. And it's like I'm biased. But I saw this today. I was literally I need to put money into this because this has $186 million markup. It doesn't matter. It's on Coinbase, and it actually makes sense for like the hype. It actually makes a crazy amount of sense for hype because it has this token and it actually works, and it's like connected to Eric Voorhees. So I was like, damn, this actually seems like of all like the crypto scams going on, this is the one. This is it. This is the moneymaker, and this is the one that's gonna like take off. It just makes too much sense not to, and it's just perfect. It's just this is the time. This is the year of the cyber horse or whatever it's called, cyber horse, the horse on fire or something. Yeah, I think that's it. Like another, like for example, like yeah, that's what makes it so cool is the idea of ClaudeBot connected to not Venice, but connected to like the API they have. Let me just search if Venice AI has like videos because that's actually really easy to watch. Venice AI. Is it still worth it? Pro uncensored, and that's the thing, it's uncensored too, which I don't really care about, but it's like for the normies, it's like. But yeah, using the API and like connecting that to ClaudeBot, I think it'd be a really cool idea to like connect it to like have a ClaudeBot look at Polymarket and Kalshi, and then just basically constantly be looking at different weird outcomes and then trying to find correlations, like social correlations, not number correlations to like stuff. But that's like a lot of things I think there's a lot of cool things that you can do with like ClaudeBot and OpenClaw that is like related to seeing patterns that are just really fuzzy data that people wouldn't think of doing, and I wouldn't have the time to figure out. A lot of these VC coins dump in the beginning like that. It's not always a bad sign. It just means investors get out first. A lot of the later ones dump at the betting. Yeah, I think this is legit. Like everything I saw about it, it's like okay, that makes sense why that's like iffy, but also here's why I don't think it's iffy at all. And I would, since we're not on Cozy, I can say this with any restraint because I'm not. Now I basically, Nick and I are very different content what we're doing right now. So it's like I don't even worry about it because whatever, who cares? But I can say I think this is like of all the I wouldn't like crypto. I think probably is a waste of time. But if you have money and you're gonna gamble on crypto, I think this is the move. I think unironically, I think this Venice, and I think the other one is actually a better move. It's just too much work to. Honestly, it's like better in my opinion. Get the Venice token. I feel like that's gonna go up, and then the other one will go up as well. But this one is cool because you can stake this, and from staking it, that's the cool thing too. Is you can stake this, and it can basically give you dividends in the DM token. So then eventually, hypothetically, you could get basically just compute from holding this. Now, I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years, 10 years, a year, 5 months from now. But if I had to guess, I think this is going to be another like Ethereum, another Solana type vibe. I could be totally wrong though. It could actually just completely collapse. But I did get genuine like Ethereum vibes. That there's a video where I basically recommended people getting Ethereum at like $13 or something. And yeah, the cozy curse. Oh boy, what would we do without the Imperial? Looks up to read chat W or L. You're the robot horse. Yeah, I think the AI narrative is too. I think that's the future. So crypto otherwise, like why would I even use crypto? This has it like locked in. Like this is why you would use crypto, because then you could basically you'd have it essentially a token that essentially gives you access to AI and an API AI. And then basically you can tie that into your AI, and then basically it'll pay for the AI daily. So your AI will have tokens, and you literally can set it and forget it. You can set it and forget it and walk away and have every day do something. Now, what it would do, because it's not much compute, $1 worth of compute, I don't even know how much that would do. I don't even know if you can do anything with it. I don't really know the pricing of compute because I never use tokens. I never pay for tokens. I just use the subscriptions. But honestly, that's the vibe. A token with actually use case, yeah. Which honestly, that doesn't mean it's good. It was like at the end of the day, not being tied down to stuff is really what's good for speculation. Like not having any value is what makes things valuable in the short term, because you can then get gambling. But I think this is tied into like AI, like retardation too. It's tied into AI and tied into like stuff like that. Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing though, because it's like uncensored AI, which is very odd to see. Especially because it's like whatever, but that's neither here nor there, and that's not my business and none of yours. But let's just see if it's any good. Let's see. Actually, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to read it because make it real. All right, let's take a little pause. I'm gonna drink some water. Let's see who this. What's this? What's that guy's name? Tech Review. The Tech Review USA? Let's see. I like him because he counts. Review Tech USA, Tech Review Asian guy. Images look like 2023 crap. Yeah, everything looks like 2023 crap unless you know what you're doing. Like what I'm doing with the AI, it's like people you're just like one thing that's actually real that I constantly have to come into grips with. What's the Asian guy who does the AI, like the Tech Review people? Paul, what have you been up to, man? I just realized you were streaming with your verified post in Telegram. I just got back to Tech Lead. There we go. I just got back to streaming after a year break. So I've been up to AI. I've been up to AI and relaxing. Just being a lazy piece of shit, yeah. No, I've been busy being very productive, like working on things, being productive, and actually being productive, which is awesome as a productive person. But 4 months ago, there's nothing new then, nothing worth watching. But one thing that is like the way I'm using AI, it's like that's what people are saying. It's like it's about taste. It's not really about intelligence.
Just gifted 5 subscriptions on Kick.
Oh my gosh! Thank you very much. Thank you so much. 5 that's awesome. W12. Body bag boxer. Thank you, Texoma Gripper. I appreciate it. Horses revolutionize work for ancient people, so will AI work horses for the modern man. That's true. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like people are talking about like, oh, you need to do this, you need to not do this. There's no choice. Okay, it's like going from being a caveman to like somebody who has like fire, and it's like a caveman like don't do that. It's bad. It's like okay, if you don't do it, you're screwed. If you don't do it, you're screwed. Okay. And you are not going to survive. Which is very weird, honestly. It's going to be very weird to see this because most people are not suited for what's happening. So I don't even know, like, there's going to be a lot of smart people who get screwed over because they're just, like, not suited for making things. And so it's going to be very weird to watch smart people, objectively smart people who are like objectively they should do well, get screwed over because they are not suited for making things. And that's what it's like. So I saw somebody say on Twitter, they said, what did they say? That the information economy is over. And I had this flash of genius, this inspiration. And I said, yes, true. It's the age of imagination. And if I said that, I literally picked up the microphone and dropped it. And I was by myself when I did it because I said, that's like a mic drop moment. I said, damn, I need to unprivate my account because that was so deep. The age of information is over. And a lot of people say, oh, it's the age of misinformation. No, the age of imagination. It's the age of imagination now. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have an imagination. So if you don't have imagination or your imagination is bad, you're screwed. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. In fact, the more money you have, the more you're going to destroy yourself faster. It's really just about, that's really what it's about. It's like, do you have imagination or not? Is your imagination good or not? And if you have a good imagination, you're going to end up doing pretty well. You're going to end up with a really cool, that's the cool thing. All right, let's work on, actually, let me get this done. I'm adding one extra privacy control before handing this back. A save transcript toggle in transcribe mode so you can stop retaining history entirely, not just clear it afterwards. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's very good. And then, let's go. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. One other feature I would like to add would be adding labels to transcriptions, which is simply either before, after, or during a transcription. Preferably during or after, since before doesn't really make sense. You can add labels or notes, and that will essentially later be done with an LLM, a light LLM for categorization, for either LLM or machine learning for categorization. But currently it'll be done by hand, and then that will, for searching and analysis in the future, will be very useful. Thank you very much. And then we go like this, transcribe it. While that was working on that, see what I'm talking about? See how we're making this faster? Boom. Now we copy it. Then we go here, paste it. Do you guys see how this is working? Do you guys see how we've turned we're just taking feedback loops and making our own feedback loops that are positive and using AI to push ourselves forward? Boom. Paul, any comments on the 20-year-old clavicular as a 30-plus-year-old man? I like him. I like him a lot, and I think he's a very fun person.
Army Nigglet sent $30.
Yo.
How do I donate on Power Chat? I can't find the link.
That's funny.
Also, is this game going to be a Fit Girl exclusive?
Yes, it is going to be a Fit Girl exclusive, yeah. It is. That's a good movie, by the way. The Fit Girl exclusive, the trans person, their mascot, Emily. It's this very, very, it's kind of artsy. It's kind of basic artsy, so you probably heard of it if you like movies at all. But if you're not like a super movie fan, you should watch Emily or Emile. It's this French movie, and it's really actually comfy. And then there's another movie by the same guy, Delicatessen, which is really good. I haven't watched it, but people say it's really good, so I'm just going to pretend I've watched it. Now that you're verified, are you going to cuck on the Epstein take? What is the Epstein take? No politics. When does Adam release the... Oh, I like Clavicular a lot. I think people are misplacing him. They don't understand he's not political. He's not like a political person. His like action is just fun. And it's also not unique. The funny thing about Zoomers is they have so much access to media and content, and it's really endearing in a very, I'm going to sound very condescending, but I don't mean it in a condescending way. But they have so much access to content, but they don't understand that Clavicular is literally just like millennial and Gen X bodybuilder humor brought into like Zoomer context. It's not original, and it's not like something that they invented. It's just actually it's just like a more vain version of like Ziz and stuff. I think it's better. I think it's way better and more fun, and I genuinely like it a ton. But it's very funny just to see like Zoomers be like, they think it's like a super original thing. It's like, no, all this lingo is literally from like bodybuilder forum and fit on 4chan. But once again, it doesn't matter. Everything is from somewhere else. So it's like, I'm not going to be like a Redditor and be like, no, it's not easy. I think Clavicular is awesome. And I think, honestly, his way of going about it is better than the bodybuilders, better than the fit people or the bodybuilder.net or forum, bodybuilder forum, because I think it's more vain and it's less real. But for that reason, it's better. For that reason, it's like he's going to go on to run businesses. He's going to go on to be successful, go on to do other things. And he's making a ton of money, and he's having a good time. The only potential downside is that he could spiral out of control. I know there's Connor Murphy I think that's the guy's name, is getting involved, and that's scary because he went crazy. He went literally insane from like trend and stuff. So that's actually, you got to watch out for something like that, because once he's involved, it's kind of like a dangerous mix, because now his energy is being mixed into the situation, and that could easily spiral out of control, whether or not people like it. People don't understand how real, and there's certain, if you read the tea leaves correctly, you'll see that it's going to be a problem, but it might not be. But either way, it'll be fun. So I would say, you know, that's whatever. That's like another thing too. Like, for example, a feature that would be nice is to be able to have a analysis of transcriptions and categories, because I'm going to be transcribing when I'm streaming. And I would like to be able to take the transcription and then have it pull all my predictions and all my advice and all my predictions and all my comments about people and timestamp them and get them highlighted, just easily searchable, so I can go back in the past and just search through all my predictions and all my advice whenever I'd like to. Would this be easy to add, or should this be a feature for the future? See, feature for the future. But let's say, for example, like this is like, I have an idea and now there's so little friction, I can just copy it and paste it over here, right? I copy it and I paste it. And now this feature can be added in. So this is what I'm saying, is like, we're basically just making tools. We're not working on making projects that are necessarily like the final product right now. We're making this thing that's called go slow to go fast, which is, somebody else said it. And basically now, you know, let's see, here we go. It's viable to add now, but in layers. Add fixed categories, prediction, advice, common person, transcript, highlights. Let you mark highlighted spans with timestamps with labels. Add fast search filters, all predictions, all advice. Easy now. Auto suggest highlights from rules / keywords. Person name extraction for better filtering. Feature / heavier. So not only a feature. Now you semi-auto. Okay. Now let's go here, right? Instead of typing it out, I just go like this. Yeah, that looks good. Let's do what can be done now and then document and spec out what we want to do later. Thank you. And now it's really, see how this is like turning into, this is just turning into like I'm actually talking to somebody working with me, right? Because I've made essentially like an exoskeleton for my interactions. And now I'm streaming and I'm talking to somebody, and it's like, isn't this crazy how it builds? You know what I'm talking about? Isn't this awesome? Isn't this kind of crazy? This is kind of swag. And that's the cool thing too, is like what I'm doing right now is I'm building tools while I stream, and I talk to you guys as I'm streaming, and I talk to the AI, I talk to the LLMs as I'm streaming, and ideas pop in my head, and I'm also, you know, making the ideas and the software better and the way I'm interacting with it better. But also, I am coming with new ideas, and those new ideas, there's so little friction now that I can basically just elaborate and save for later and have transcriptions and look over the transcriptions later. And one thing I really want to do, and the reason why I think this is good for streaming, is that I think this is fun. I think this is like a genuinely entertaining, fun thing to see, like making something and using that thing that's making something to make something, which is going to help me make something more. Kind of in a recursive loop, in a recursive way, and kind of embody that and show you guys the benefits of it. But also I hope it's inspiring to you guys, because you guys can do this too. You guys can easily go and pay $200 a month, or not even pay $200 a month, steal your parents' credit card and have them pay $200 a month. That's a joke, right? But you can do that, and then you can work on something, and you're going to do something completely different because you have a completely different life situation. So you're going to say, oh, I can't do this, but what if I made something to help me with homework? What if I made something to help me with chores, or remembering how to do something, or help, you know, with learning, or help with paying attention to something? You know, for example, this is another example of an idea that I wanted to add, but I'd forgotten to add. And now that I'm talking about it to you guys, I'm remembering. So I can just say it right here, and it'll be so easy. All it is basically for the commands. Basically, there's a command mode, right? And I want it to basically set up commands to have a connection to the aliases and programs. Yo, thank you.
Like my spurt animal.
Thank you, Brillium. You're a great guy. You're a great guy. Anyway, basically set up programs and set up live watching of programs that are running, but also have programs, you know, it's kind of like a stream deck sort of thing where you have different macros, but set up programs and set up timed commands. So for example, I could say, hey timer, and that would be like a timer mode. In 5 minutes, close the tab I'm on. and it would look and it would say, okay, you're on this tab of Chrome, or this tab of Explorer, this tab of Brave, or this tab of whatever web browser, and it would set a timer, and then 10 minutes later it would hit the Control W shortcut. It would know to do that because I've set up these hooks. Or I could say, in 20 minutes, remind me about taking out the garbage. Hey timer, and that would be in its own mode. Hey timer, right? And then it would have all these different intuitive things, like in 20 minutes, open Notepad and type in an overview of what I've done, an overview of what you've seen on screen, because that's another thing I want to implement. And let me know if this sounds reasonable to you guys or to you, the AI, is I want to implement taking screenshots of the actual desktop and having a vision model look over what's on the screen at different increments randomly. And that way that can be built in, and then it can turn into a further helper, a further kind of, psychological profile of the situation. You know what I mean? Hopefully this makes sense. All right, now I go over here. Where's there, I like the stealing other streamers' money idea. Yeah. Expect to see more of a permanent underclass is made even more aware of the status of simultaneously consumed by illiterate media epistemics. Yeah. How are we and what are we coding? We are great. We are coding this, which is helping us code further. All right, so we just did this. We just did 3 minutes of it. Now it's going to transcribe that audio, and we're going to go over here while this is working, run the Go tests. It's transcribing. All right. Paul, are you going to purchase the Jeffrey Epstein quarter zip? No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I don't have anything against it, but I just have no reason to get a quarter zip. I would do it if I wanted it, but I don't have anything against it. But no, I'm not going to purchase it. Once again, it's going to be a good transcription when there's 33 in the transcription. All right, see, now we have that whole transcription that's local. Once again, we're going to move some of this. Actually, let's do that. All right, so we're copying this. Boom. We're copying the text, pasting it in. While it's pasting this in, we're going over here, and then we're going here. Another thing I would like to do is to implement the ability to use an API for the transcription and also the command mode. Maybe not the command mode because that's all local, but I essentially want to have what I have right now with the local models, but then also let the user, if they would like, since some people don't have a powerful enough CPU, put in API keys to a service. Look online for services, trying to find, I don't look online right now, but we will make a note in the future, but just set up the routing to, instead of using local transcription, if a user had put in API keys for an online transcription, have that in the settings, the ability to switch from local transcription to online API based transcription. Thank you. Boom. See how easy this is? Yo, what's up?
Hi, Paul. Are you still coming in Wednesday for the interview?
Yes. Yeah, I'm coming in Wednesday for the interview with Eliza Schaefer. Yeah. Anyway, so see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, isn't it, when you see what we're working on now, doesn't everything else kind of pale in comparison? Doesn't everything else start to, that looks great. That looks great. Actually, we should work on this. That looks great. Thank you. And then while that works on it, let's go over here. All right, and then let's go. We're adding a lot of features, and we're looking over a lot of things. Do we have any problems or any reviews or any ideas that would make what we have even better? What do you think is a good way to expand functionality without any big overhaul? What are some oversights we have? What are some potential downsides, some pros and cons that we should think about? And what are some cool ideas that are futuristic or already done in similar software that we might want to add? So you just wait that, right? Will you be purchasing the AF Jelker machine? You're disloyal if you don't. Well, that sounds inappropriate. That sounds inappropriate. Contemporary peasant demonology catalyzed by the emergence of a new illiterate algorithm subject, subaltern class alienated from capital, easily consumed by conspiratorial epistemics. Historically, peasants employed hidden transcripts, offstage resistance, popular dissemination of more digitized rumors. That's too much work for me. What is this? Is this from Mia? Is this from whatever her name is? Whatever his name is, the Indian guy running. Why do people not like Peter Thiel? He's not very likable for a lot of people because he's very annoying. It doesn't even matter if he's smart or not. At the end of the day, he's just annoying, and it's just kind of boring. It's not cool. And it's also he never gave me money. If he had offered me money, that's like I knew everything was screwed because I never got any offer for like a ton of money. I never got any offer. The only person I've ever gotten money from was like Chuck Johnson, and that was for like doxing people. No, I wasn't for doxing people. It was whatever for other stuff. I only ever got money from Chuck Johnson. It was like $5,000 and Cozy. So that's how I knew it was screwed. Like if I'm so cool and smart and awesome, yeah, do that. Yep. Massive Weave L. Nah, Weave is awesome. I don't know why people don't like Weave. Like, that's one thing. I'm gonna put my foot down. It's like Weave. I know why people don't like Weave. All right, he's crazy. But I'll say this: of all the people, Weave is like awesome. I do love Weave, and he's never done me wrong. And I can't go against. I'm not gonna go against Nick because I love Nick and Nick's awesome. But I'm also not gonna go against Weave because Weave is awesome too. And I love Weave, and it's so funny. I saw that Nick post about Weave. I almost went to my DMs with Frank Castle because I literally DM'd Frank Castle either December or November. I literally DM'd and I was like, "Hey, dude, you got Weave's contact information still?" Because I was gonna send Weave some messages and talk to Weave about something. I have to check my DMs actually. Maybe he has it, but it was so funny to see that in this Telegram. I was like, "Oh damn!" I should probably post me asking Frank Castle for Weave's contact info. Yeah, Weave. I like Weave a lot. That's understandable though. I feel like if you're not a certain type of person, he is going to come off in a certain type of way, and he could be like a spy, or he could be working with Peter Thiel. I don't care either way. I like him a lot, and I always have, and I always will.
Peter Thiel bore you? Is Chuck Johnson a fraud?
Peter Thiel, I don't like his origin story's fake. It's kind of interesting. His milieu is a lot more interesting than their stories. All their stories are fake. Like, oh, I worked hard and I like started a company in my garage and I really was into technology. And then the reality is like they're part of this like group of weirdos from South Africa and Ohio. And it's like and Canada, and the weird like a mix of like Jewish people and German people who are autistic, and that's like it, and like some English people, and they all like connected to like Elon Musk's family is connected to like this revolutionary group in Canada, and his parents own like mines, and then Peter Thiel and all these people like Peter Thiel somehow goes to South Africa and like it's connected to like military contracting, and those are really cool stories and they're really fun and they're actually like really interesting. And it make these characters way more fun. And then their story they give is like, I was working hard. It's like, you got millions of dollars of investment money and you went to like Stanford and you're like super smart and you're like well off. Maybe not super smart, but you're well off and you're super well connected and you always were. And that's so much more interesting than like, yeah, I was. And then it's like that's so cool. And then you have the people who pretend they're like super like smart and well connected and it's like Moldbug and it's like, no, you're just like a loser who's like Jewish. And like because of that, you basically couldn't fall down that far, and like you lucked into being allowed into like not really the cool kids club, but like adjacent to it, because they were kind of like felt bad for you, and they still do for some reason. But like and I was in the military. It's like, no, your dad was like a state employee, which is like fine, okay, believe me, that's fine. But it's not like you were a spy. Your dad was basically stupid, okay. That's it. All right, so that's fine, but you weren't like a spy. It'd be like if I was saying I was a spy. Like, no, I'm not a spy. I was never given the opportunity to be a spy. If I was, maybe I would have taken it. Maybe I am now. Maybe I'm a spy with Weave. But I will say also, Weave is also living in like Russia. Okay, that's like another thing you can kind of tell he's not. Weave isn't connected. Really, he probably wishes he was at this point. But Weave is like an insane person who's like living in like exile, probably self-imposed at this point, but maybe not. But he's like living in the middle of nowhere in like the third world, such a second world, because he's not connected and because he's not like, allowed to do it. Also, his crime. I just want to clear this up for Nick, not because once again, this I know because I know this stuff because I like this stuff. Weave's cybercrime he did was literally incrementing a number, and he'll say this, right? So he's smart. Weave is smart, and he's actually very clever. But his actual crime is making a for loop. is basically this. Like I'll show you guys what it is. Why not? While we have this work, this is Weave's horrible crime. He was wrong. Was it Zcash or something? I don't know. Was he wrong about it? So he said some. Weave doesn't have the best takes about certain things. I'd say I love him in spite of some of his takes, not because of them. But I do really actually like Weave a lot. Every time I interact with him, I really enjoyed my interactions with Weave. But he's like definitely a crazy person. He's not the type of person I'd interact with now, because I'm trying to go straight. But he's I have nothing but amusement. But this is essentially what he got in trouble for. So AT&T .com / question mark or user info, user phone number, user phone, and then XYZ, let's just say 1 2 3. This is somebody found out, I don't know if it was him or somebody else, but somebody he knew found out that, hey, if you paste this into your browser, it'll then give you a file, and it's like John Doe 666 6767, all right, or 6769, right? And then if you go boom, it'll go Jane Doe 69 6 426 423, and then they figured it out. And so this is just what he did. Okay, this is all Weave did. Weave is smarter than this. Weave can do stuff, but this is what Weave actually did in this case. Okay, this is what he went to prison for. Okay, so this is his cybercrime that he got in trouble for. All right, he basically made a for loop that would basically just scrape this, and then he basically took this, this, and then just posted I don't know how many, which is it's not nice. But I think, the thing is, I don't even know if he went through the proper channels or not. But at the end of the day, this was literally just publicly available information. It was essentially doxing. That wasn't even real doxing, because it's so essentially he was just doxing people. So that's all he was doing, which isn't nice, but that's what he was doing. And it wasn't really, it was even less messed up than doxing, because this is just this is just everybody's information. And the point is, hey, AT&T is exposing all their user data. AT&T is exposing their data of their, I think it was AT&T. It might not, maybe don't sue me if I'm wrong. But essentially, it was some phone service, some phone provider was exposing all their user information extremely easily. And instead of keeping it secret and selling it, he basically just said, hey, this is what the problem is. And then he got sued. And then because he's a spurg, he basically just spurged out about Jewish people, which is funny because he's half Jewish or whatever, which is how much I love Weave is he's half Jewish or maybe full Jewish or something. But if I could say this and he'd get mad or say I'm not Jewish, and he just lie, and he just say I'm not Jewish, and he just say something funny, and he just say some ridiculous stuff, and he'd go on a rant, and he maybe threaten me or something, but he's Jewish, and then that's why he's awesome, because he refuses to admit the truth, right? I feel maybe he's working for Peter Thiel, but I don't care. But also give me this isn't. He's not. He went to prison because the judge got mad at him because he basically was trolling, and he refused to stop trolling about something stupid, which he should have said, hey, yeah, it's better to stop pretending. But that's what makes him awesome. He's over the top, and that's just fun, and that's just very fun, and that's just very silly. People talking about Weave in 2026, yeah, and that's just funny. And there's a lot of people who dislike him for different reasons, and I'm sure they have real reason to dislike him. So I'm not saying you have to like him. Personally, though, I'm one of those people where it's yeah, in the same way we wouldn't lie to the judge and pretend it's serious when it's not, and instead he's just gonna be whatever. I'm gonna do the same thing with we were I'm not gonna pretend I think he's I think he's one of the people who should get paid. In my opinion, he deserves a lot of money, and he's a funny guy, and that's at the end of the day. It's a character. He's a fun character. What is he doing? He's just trolling people on the internet. Relax, okay. Relax. He's cool. I like him. Now, once again, if other people don't like him and they want to continue, that's part of the game too. So if you set yourself to be a character, people will use that character to act like it's a big deal. But I would say to other people. It's like, this is an example of like, he's somebody who's like a character and he's cool.
Army Niggle had sent $5. He did practically the exact same thing again with the open printer ports.
Yeah. And he didn't go to prison for that because that's once again, well, he probably wasn't able to go to prison. But yeah, it's once again, it's like there's a line where it's like, this is not nice to do. Is it illegal? I don't really think it's illegal. And this was an example of it really wasn't illegal. He shouldn't have maybe you say, oh, here's a fine or something, or you have to work, do some community service for 100 hours to help systems become cyber secure. That's like a legit story. That's like a legit punishment for that, where it's like, yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like annoying to people. You shouldn't have done that. There's better ways to go about it. So your punishment is 50 hours of community service teaching cybersecurity at a community college. And that's like not even a punishment. That's like a fun thing he would love to do before he became a Nazi. So yeah, that's whatever, but that's the weep thing. That's like the let's go back to the AI. That's like fun. Run the test suite. Download the tool chain. Yeah, why not? This is like a weird thing to do. I think the AI too is like there's certain like limitations, and I haven't had to actually do anything. It's just going around all the limitations now, like without any problems. So, I think I don't even know. Adjusting Go version check to avoid sandbox, and it's like, isn't that the point of the sandbox? Isn't that the point of the AI, that the sandbox is not going to be? It's like, so what is the point of the AI, the safety at all right now, if it's adjusting it to get around the security? And I didn't do anything. I just wasn't even running like the unsafe mode. Leave is cool, but he got airstriked in Ukraine by the Russians. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is like the AI with the drones and stuff like that is like, there is so much everything is existential. Like there's everything, every single group has an existential crisis going on right now, which is what's the meaning in life? If you're like trying to win games, what are the games you're trying to win? Yo, 650 viewers, goat. All right, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, we're trying to get to 400 subscribers. We just got our verification and we're just trying to get Kick Partner. So in order to do that, I need to get subscribers. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Now, I'm just lying to you. I do have enough subscribers, but we want to keep that going. So I'm going to pretend. We need to pretend. So keep that subscription going. We're trying to hit to 440 subs every month. I think we're going in a good direction, but we're not there yet. We're at 200 subs a month. So let's try to get to 400 subs. Can we double it up tonight? Anyway, and we're also trying to fill up the bar. The dono bar, where are we at right now? The dono bar, yeah, we need to fill up this bar so I can release the demo of the game. Let's do some more transcription. Let's do another game. Let's work on the game right now. Let's exit out of the AI system we have set up so we can rebuild it, because right now we did a lot of changes with it. So we're going over to here. We love Paul Tan. We love you. Do you get the subs count? Yeah. Sneeka said you wouldn't come back after your break. Yo, Poet Groiper, thank you for the 10 subscriptions. I don't know why it didn't pop up on screen. I really appreciate it. Yo, go.
Army Girl 07 just gifted
Army
10
Girl 10.
subscriptions on Kick.
Thank you for the subscription. 10 more. Poet Groiper 5. Goated. Oh, goated. Paul Town has sold out. Paul Town is a Polish spy. I don't even know if there's Polish spies. I don't even know if that's possible. We love you, Paul Town. LMFSC's had to steal clothing designs. Yeah. Thank
Design
you.
Groip just subscribed on Kick.
Yo, thank you, Design Group. We're going up. We're trying to get to 400 subs. We're getting up there. But hopefully, the fun thing about this too, what I've really, and I'm being sincere about this, is I can be sincere about being excited. That's like the really fun part about all this, is I'm actually being sincere, and I can be sincere. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, when I left streaming, it was like it sucked. I didn't want to stream. I really didn't want to stream, and it sucked. Now, I'm actually having fun because I'm doing like programming and I'm working on stuff. All right, there we go. Why is this not working now? Ooh, okay. Now we have a problem. All right, let me exit out of PowerShell here. Tools, file, new PowerShell tab. All right, where were we at? Let's go to change directory to Z. All right, and then we go to change to, what is it over here? Home Paul. Yeah. Home Paul Yeah, this is so fun. It's like actually nice to be able to do things, knowing that I can also, the thing I'm liking about this is I can make money while I'm talking about it, and also like if I'm not making money, I can just stop streaming. You know, I can just stop streaming and just continue working on stuff without you guys, and it's very nice. It's so comfy, you know, because now it's just like we're on an equal playing field of like we're having fun, and if you guys don't support me, I can just go away, and it's not a big deal. It's not like it's like no hard feelings, you know. It's no hard feelings at all. All right, how do where is my running here? Oh, CD tools. Parakeet server, CD parakeet server. LS, and then go here. Yeah, Python server.py. Is that working? Int 8 quantization, yeah. Starting the waitress server, cool. All right. Yeah, it's working. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh, right. I need to actually look at why. Let me go to task manager. Where's my mouse? Yeah, we are so good. I'm so ready to quit my job and play on AI all day like Paul Town, ironically. Yeah, that's the thing too. I think that's what it's so existential. It's like people are like so used to like, oh, the way you succeed in life is you dominate somebody and you dominate people and you make them your slave and you make them your bitch. Paul, did your dad sell JD Vance a house? No. I have Python 3 in my pants. You'll know you're close to stop streaming again when you reshave your head. Yeah, it's true. Paul 10 is Aura. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I think that's the thing where it's like the existential crisis is that we're moving post scarcity. Not in everything, because it's not going to be post scarcity in terms of character. That's really where like the imagination and character, those are two things where it's like that's why I need to work on character. I need to get harder working and more disciplined and less like, less indulgent, you know, and I need to be more, I have a lot of imagination. I'm just trying to like rein it in and focus it. Speaking of focusing it, I need to figure out, I need to run, I need to find hoot and close hoot here. Close hoot and the hoot task and hoot task. Real Aura, not just Clouder Connections Aura. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I always thought that Aura, I always thought that one day I'd be rewarded by making a lot of money. But then I realized, my reward is actually just making money worthless. And then everybody who has money being miserable because they traded their soul. They traded their soul for money. And then money's not worthless and I make a lot of money. And then I like stun on everybody and I actually just become a bad person. Okay, so the change. Now we go to the change. Oh, that's hard. The change is, for some reason, if I have to type this out, ooh, it hurts my neck. For some reason, when I rebuild Hoot and restart the program from the exe, I can see mouse over events. Let me see if that works here. Oh, there we go. Download model successfully. Yeah, the shortcuts are messed up. Mouse input. I can see and kind of interact with the program, but mouse input are very messed up. And the program is unusable as a result. Paul's reward is fractional parts, but still giving his labor until he's an empty shell that has reached enlightenment. I'm there, Eddie. I'm already there. Traded their soul for ego. Oh, I remember that. That's crazy. Remember that scam? But yeah, imagination. Imagination is where it's at. Imagination. I was the abomination of Obama's nation. Pretty bad way to start the conversation. Oof. Rip stream. Is the stream down? Bars. Oh, we're back. Okay. Nice botting. Hit the follow button if you're not following.
Poet Groiper just gifted 5 subscriptions.
Yo, goated. Nick is live. Okay. Well, we'll keep going a little bit because we're working on this. We'll use this as an example. Keep subbing. We have 225 subs. That's not too bad. Soon we're gonna get Paul is botting right now. I'm not botting right now. What are you talking about? How am I botting? Thank you, Poet Groiper. I really appreciate it. Ooh, who let loose Dr. Seuss? Here comes Moggy Jr. What does that mean? High IQ stream? Yeah, high IQ stream, of course. Stan Tinlope. Jeffrey Epstein predicted the rise of the Paultanian spirit. Some said I could only succeed once the Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you, Army Girl. Thank you, Poet Groiper. Some said I could only. Thought on Twin Peaks? I don't know. I was never really a fan of Twin Peaks. Yo!
Gun 100
Thank
just
you.
gifted 5 subscriptions.
Thank you very
on
much. Twin Peaks is too obvious. Like, David Lynch is like, some of the stuff is good, but it's too obviously good, and then it becomes kind of heredity. It's like Beardson likes Twin Peaks. Maybe it's awesome. I don't know. He seemed like a nice guy. He was friends with what's his name? The guy who's on Rumble now. What's the British guy? I should throw oil on my computer, squat in the forest on public land. Honestly, it's not a bad idea. I'm not going to do that because I'm making so much money right now. But that's a kind of a good idea. Self-indulgence. Yeah, it's a little self-indulgent. I'd say he seems a little self-indulgent. Beardson is so esoteric that he seems obvious and right. He's actually a primordial paradox. Beard God is not going to like that. Twin Peaks overrated. I think it's cool. I just don't understand it. I think it's like not as cool as people say, but it's also cool. I think it is. Hopefully that'll make you all happy. Likely root cause is real. Hoot's close button was hiding the app instead of exiting, so old instance stayed alive in the back. Every multiple instances could stack hotkey input handle to make input feel broken. I don't think that's it. But we'll see. And task. Hoot. All right, try it out. Let me rebuild it via this. Build Windows. Generating bindings. I wish I had it so I could just actually discuss what I'm talking about, what the bug is. But that's the problem when you have a bug about the thing to like make bug reports, and then you go back to the Stone Age. This is like when they set off the nuke. This is like when the EMP happens. When the EMP happens, and then like I can't. After I've built my entire like mech suit of like self-referential recursive like tools to make myself powerful, and I'm left and I'm like in the wasteland. And I'm in the wasteland and I'm just like stuck, and all my slaves have rose up against me. Collapse mode. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. We are having a problem here. Record. 1, 2, 3. Easy as settings. Yeah. Tab works. Check advices modes. Tab works. How does that work now? Tab works. How does tab works show up on the screen? That's freaky. Downloaded model successfully. Yeah, I'll make it out of this crap. I'm scared. It showed it by what I was saying on the screen. That's like black magic, dude. That's dark magic right there. It's still messed up. Tabbing seems to highlight buttons, right? Highlight buttons correctly. But clicking and pressing enter still isn't working correctly. It's probably what they're saying. Demonic AI, freaky. Ooh, that's scary. Nah, we're good. We're chill. We're all chill, right? We're all chill. That ain't a bug. That's a moth. That's a, you gotta reframe things. That ain't a bug. Bugs are scary. That's a moth. Moths are friendly. Why did the moth come there? The light was on. You know what I'm talking about? Shit. All right. Click and key event issues. Oof. What else? I think we're good. I think we're good for tonight. But yeah, this is like, what did we do today? We just talked for 2.5 hours and we made money. Yeah, W Norm. Yeah, everybody, somebody, if you love Norm, send me $100 to show you love Norm. Norm said, let's do it. 630. How many? Let me check. Let me go check over here and see how many followers we got going on here. Because I think we're doing pretty well. I think this is a big one. The Jimbo host was actually kind of good, honestly. Let's be real. Jimbo host is valuable. Let's be real. Jimbo host is valuable. Let's be real. Jimbo. Damn, the audio sounds good. All right. Let me go to the creator dashboard. 18. Oh, Stews, thank you for follow. Drooks, thanks for Eric Coops, thanks for Darned Waffles, some name I can't pronounce. Fastitious X, Army Girl, Eki, Anus. No, that's gross. TWB128, Costas G, H2O Raptor, Mr. P, Mr. PT donator, big money donator. Thank you for all. Cat Respector, Greasy VR, Speedy Ripper, Lindy Nuggies, Chief Face, Joe Indians, Infected Monkeys. Damn, we're cooking today, actually. W, really glad you're back streaming. Thank you. I'm in Nick's $100 a month club, convincing the old people I'm a gay groiper who joined after Basil and Benny collab with Nick. That's funny. Yeah, I like Basil and Benny. They seem nice. Honestly, I've never watched any of their stuff. Vainict and Stu, thank you for the follow. I've never, Moggy Jr. Who's Moggy Jr.? I don't get it. I don't understand what Moggy Jr. is. I feel like I'm missing something. Why are they clapping in the chat? I don't get it. I'm going to change your name. How do I change your name? Anyway, yeah, we're doing well. Today was a good day, actually. Today we made some money, some serious cash. Do you want me to change it? Yeah, I want you to change it. I don't like your name. That's fucked up. That's disgusting. We're trying to do positive vibes here. We're trying to be generative. That part of the body is getting rid of crap. That's like disgusting. That's not really generative. It takes away from the body, right? We are trying to be generative. We're trying to be positive. We're trying to be inspirational, and we're trying to inspire everybody, regardless of their race, gender, their gender identity, their age, right? Their status, their environmental status, their economic status, their Twitter status. Yo, thank you. Moggy Jr. is slap. What is Moggy Jr.? We're trying to inspire everybody to be the best version of themselves and make stuff. 2026 is the year where I make a lot of money and you guys make a lot of donations. And then we all make a lot of creative stuff. But I make a lot of money. That's like a big one I'm doing this year. 2026, we're making a lot of money for me. All right. And we're doing that because why not? I deserve it. I deserve a lot of money. Believe me. Believe me. Oh, I don't need that. All right, let's go over here. Ooh, disabled transparent web view. Common source of weird click behavior. Explicitly marked main UI contains non-draggable. Kept only intended. Previously also fixed deeply instance behavior and closed behavior. Okay, let me check to see. If I had to guess, there's some weird thing that I'm not going to figure out until later. But we're testing it out. And we'll see if it works. We'll see if it works because it could work. Could very well work. Let's build it. Build windows.bat. All right. I wanted to do the walkthrough of the video game, but this is actually more fun to work on the actual tool we're working on. It's kind of very fun to do. And it is the year of the Chut. ThinkPad T420 running OpenBSD with LibreBoot, distro of Coreboot, Goalies BTFO. Moggy Jr. owns his computer like a real chat. What is Moggy Jr.? Is this like a meme? It's like a stupid kid meme. Zoomers are so... That was the thing I saw, Jimbo. I liked your tweet, but then I realized it's like you don't understand what you're wrong about, Jimbo. And I'm sorry to say this after you're so kind to me. Maybe I won't even say it. Unless somebody donates $50, I won't even say why you were wrong. Your tweet was wrong. I'm going to keep it to myself. Unless somebody sends me $50, then I'll explain why your tweet was good, but it could be better. I don't want to say so. I don't want to mog, I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me. I don't want to be in a mogging situation, you know? So we're not gonna open that Pandora's box of somebody who just set me up with, you know, followers and subs and excitement and fun and money. Allows me to eat food tonight. All right, let's see. Dude, it still doesn't work. All right. Hoot is having a hoot problems. Now, see, this is where it's like an issue because it's actually annoying, but it's actually not really annoying. But the problem is I can't really debug very well while streaming. So I think I might just end the stream here, and then I will tell you guys what the deal is tomorrow, maybe, if I figure it out by tomorrow. I guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the stream tonight. So thank you guys for watching. We're going to, you know, not get hung up because I can't really think about it too much while streaming. Moggy Jr. is having a cortisol spike. We get a round of applause. Look at a round of applause. Round of applause in the chat. Thank you guys. And we'll have an outro song. And we will then be done. And then I will maybe come back tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see. It really just depends on work. It depends on what I get done, but I don't get done. And hopefully we will be set up for even more stuff. Okay. Thank you guys very much. Let me find a song. Kind of old school. Something old school. Something fun and old school. Let me go through my likes. View all my likes. Really old. Ooh, that's good. Ooh. All right. Man, my neck hurts. Ooh, that's good. Oof.